This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Hello, my cat-loving friends. Thanks for joining us. It's Linda Hall, the co-host of 19 Cats and Counting. We love anybody that does anything for animals, you know. Add to that a minority-owned business, a women-owned business, a veteran-owned business, and somebody that is out there doing good for others. And we have Nicole K. As soon as we come back from this ad, we will introduce her to you. You are going to love her.
Take a bite out of your competition. Advertise your business with an ad in Pet Life Radio podcasts and radio shows. There is no other pet-related media that is as large and reaches more pet parents and pet lovers than Pet Life Radio. With over 7 million monthly listeners, Pet Life Radio podcasts are available on all major podcast platforms, and our live radio stream goes out to over 250 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, Odyssey, TuneIn, Stitcher, and other streaming apps. For more information on how you can advertise on the #1 pet podcast and radio network, visit PetLifeRadio.com/advertise today.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to 19 Cats and Counting. I am your co-host, Linda Hall. I'm a little croaky on the voice. Bear with me because I've been ill. But I am here, Ribbit, thank you. I am here with my better half, my work wife, my BFF, my partner in crime. Oh, we're not supposed to talk about the crimes. Anyway, Rita, how are you, darling?
I'm good. Bella is back from her hematoma surgery, those of you who watch my personal page, and she's doing great. Didn't even have to give her any more pain meds. She was up to her usual mischief today. But I got chills when you were talking about Nicole. I can't wait to talk with her.
Seriously, she's awesome. Yeah. I'm gonna say a lot. Well, let's get her in
what
here.
Did you regress to teenage?
I think so. Let's get her in here. Okay.
Let's introduce her, Linda.
Let's. Hey, Nicole.
Hi.
Hi.
We get a little silly together.
Yeah, can't help it. Oh, we're just blown away by you. We actually met over a behavior issue, and Rita and I were like, we need to have her on this podcast. Okay. First of all, I got down here that you've got, 4 or 5 jobs. You run an urban farm with 20 or more rescues. You got a cat sitting business. You've got the store, justcatstore.com.
Do you sleep?
Well, here's the funny part. On her About Us, it says in her spare time, Nicole likes to. And I'm like, what spare time? Apparently, she likes to cycle and do all this stuff in her spare time when she's done with the 5 jobs.
Have you done any of that lately?
No, but I made a goal to go cycling once a week. And I have a spreadsheet where I track my free time my hobbies. So
yes.
Yeah.
If you don't schedule time for yourself, it won't happen. We all know that. Yeah.
We both know that.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a necessity. Otherwise the day gets away and you're like, that didn't happen. So in 2014, you started a cat sitting business, and that's still going. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's specifically cat sitting.
Yes. Just Cats Pet Sitting in Denver.
Just Cats Pet Sitting.
We were just for Cats Pet Sitting.
Yes.
We're very aligned in our history and our goals, it looks like.
Yes. Yeah. And I love that because, a lot of places, there are people that do dog walking, whatever, that love cats. I don't want to say that this is specifically, but a lot of times when you get the businesses that do both, there are people that know more about dogs and less about cats. And they're such completely different animals. It cracks, they're in that same companion animal space, but you might as well compare a fish to a zebra. It's just, they're totally different. And so people like somebody that really specializes in their specific animal and can help that animal. So I think that's amazing. And then in 2018, you started the store?
Yes. Yep.
So tell us about why and when, and tell us about the store.
Yeah. So, in 2006, actually 2014, I had the concept for the store. I was living in Houston, Texas. And, I like to start businesses where no one else is doing it. So when I started the Cats Pet Sitting, no one else had a pet sitting business just for cats. Surprisingly, the way the universe works, 2 other businesses popped up within the same 2 months that I opened. We didn't even know. It's all synchronicities. And so I had the idea for the store. I was doing research, talking to other pet supply stores. I've always wanted to have a retail store since I was a little kid for fun. And it wasn't until 2016 we started Just Cat Store online, where we primarily just sold cat toys to our pet sitting clients, because one of the most popular toys that we used was the Go Cat Da Bird toy. You guys know the Da Bird toy?
Oh, Da Bird.
And everyone's like, where do I get it? Where do I get it? So I would give business to PetSmart. And I'm like, why don't people just buy it from me? Right. And so 2016 is when we officially started the business of justcatstore.com, but we didn't actually start the retail store until 2018. And that was actually forced. The timing was forced because my ex at the time told me, if you want to foster cats, open a facility. And 2 weeks later I did. And then I left him.
Wow.
So,
that's amazing. I wouldn't even know how to begin the process of opening a retail store. How did you know what to do?
24 hours. I went on, it was the craziest synchronicity. I went on Craigslist, found a space for $500 a month. It was 200 square feet. So little tiny store. And I said, I'm just going to do it. And then 3 weeks from signing the lease, or 2 weeks, I opened it up and everything just happened so quickly. So
that's amazing. You know, it's meant to be when things just happen that way, you know?
Yeah.
No, there are coincidences occasionally, but for the most part, it's like, that wasn't a coincidence. That's just a little too crazy.
I love how everything aligned for you like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're using the store to give back. I saw you had an Instagram post, I don't know if this is still going or not, but where you were like partnering with some food company, and every bag purchased of this food went to this rescue, or so you're finding ways to work this in, right?
Sure. My intentions for opening the store was to, one, save as many cats as possible, with the business model of, we're a licensed shelter in the state of Colorado, but we don't feel like a shelter. When I tell people we have 30 cats that live in the store, everyone's like, first off, it doesn't smell like it. So how do you guys do it? Secondly, it's amazing that these homeless cats literally live in an F.A. Schwartz for kitties. It's a toy store. I can tell you, I probably spend about $2,000 a year on products that cats have gotten into and have broken from all the crazy parties that they get into, right? But, the intention was just to save animals. And then now what I've been doing is I've taken a step back from the fostering. I mean, I'm fostering 30 cats at a time, and I do it mostly myself. I do have employees, but it's mostly me doing all the work to get them homes. But what I've just been doing is finding opportunities to help local rescues. And it's kitten season. So people, kittens are like, garbage disposals when it comes to food. They go through like 4 cans a day per cat, So finding ways to help people, because I was once in that position where I've, funded all of my fostering with my own money before I got into, fostering with the rescue. So
yes,
we know how that goes.
Yeah, we know. We kind of have our own rescues going where we're taking in the unadoptable, and we're taking care of them. And it's
I have one laying on my arm right now.
Yeah.
Dexter.
Yep. We know how that goes. So you're using this as a way to help the cats and to give to others. And I mean, it's just so much in one. And what kind of things? We know you sell toys in your store. What else do you sell?
So we sell high quality food and litter, and we sell things that work. I've had opportunities to sell Friskies and Fancy Feast, and there's some days I do want to sell that because it fits our local demographic, and also with the rising costs of food, people are looking for ways to save money. But also I've stuck to the business model of selling high quality products for cats, because ultimately when you feed them high quality food, in turn, less vet visits, they're healthier. And, you can't beat wet food. Wet food is the premier thing to feed your cat. So
yes,
you're right 100%. Too. Because if you feed a lower quality food, you may be saving money on food, but you'll pay for it later in vet bills.
Oh, 100%.
Exactly. Yeah. We were talking to Roselle, I think is her name anyway. Pam, love her.
See, we all know
it's a small world.
It is. The cat community comes together. And we were saying, when I first started in working at Just for Cats Pet Sitting with Rita, that Rita owned, I remember, you'd see these cancer cats every once in a while. And then I remember the first asthma cat. And I was like, well, that's weird. It takes an asthma inhaler. Within 4 years' time, we had asthma kitties on the schedule every week. We had, kitties dying of cancer, diabetes, everything you could imagine we had. And it just seemed to be getting worse and worse. We just kept saying, does it seem like they had cancer?
We thought it was the LA smog, but no, because the same thing when we opened up in the Carolinas.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And so, we have asked every vet and everyone we've talked to since what is going on. And everybody's saying, the food, the additives, the preservatives, the junk. This is not a natural way to be. Right. So, for humans or for animals.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
What's your favorite type of food to recommend? I know you said wet, and I'm not talking about brands, but are you like all on board with raw? Do you think just regular canned food, cooked food is better, or what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on the lifestyle of the human, and I say that out of love because one, it comes down to, can you afford it? I sometimes will feed my cat Friskies, so a fancy feast. So I have 8 cats, and there's times where like the 2 older ones, that's all they want to eat. They're in great health. The blood work is great. So I can do things like that, but it also saves me money, but I also mix in some high quality food. But, I've tried, like if you have one cat and you have the money to afford it and the patience and the knowledge, I would do 100% raw. Now, a lot of vets will say that they don't endorse raw foods. And there's also vets that, say that they will. So you have to just take it, with a grain of salt, do your own research. But I've looked into maybe in the future, making my own food. And I know some people do that in the cat community who have a lot of cats. And it's just finding, if you have the patience and time to do so. And then, you guys know also with raw food, cats don't immediately eat raw food. You have to train them to do it. Right. So I always say, find the foods that they eat. At the end of the day, if your cat gets the moisture and the calories that they need, that's the most important thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
I tried a raw food. The one, I'm not going to name the brand because I don't want to knock anyone because it's a good food, but it comes in like a loaf, like a roll, kind of looks like a roll of ground beef. Only one of my cats would eat it out of 16 cats. So yeah, that was a failure.
Yeah. And
I have a bunch in the freezer. If anybody wants it, you're in Lancaster.
Yes. We can hook you up, and we've had clients come to us and say, my vet has put my cat on a specific urinary formula, call me for whatever food, but he won't eat it. Cats will starve themselves before they'll eat. Unlike dogs and humans, they will starve themselves before they'll eat something they don't like. So,
I don't know. Some humans are like that too.
I don't know if I
don't like it.
Myself,
I don't eat
I could find something. It depends on how hungry I am, honey. But, and it's not doing them any good and causing stress trying to get them to eat this thing. It's like, just get them to eat. Right. And then we can add supplements. We can do what we want. And I've looked into making my own raw because I have 12 cats in my house.
I've looked into it too, but it's time consuming.
It is. And there's so much, you got to make sure they have enough, they have the lysine and they have the, whatever. And the taurine, my gosh, the taurine. Yes, the taurine. They can go blind, they can die, they can have heart problems. So it's such a thing that, if I wasn't working full time, maybe I would try venturing into it, but it's such a precarious thing, that, it's a lot, but because you have to do what's best. When I was telling you earlier, my daughter and son-in-law lived for a brief time in a trailer park where cats were aplenty. And he just felt so bad for all the strays. And a lot of them were feral and he was not going to be able to take them in and rehome them. So he ended up going to a super cheap store and buying the crappiest cat food in the world because they can't afford to feed the ferals. I mean, he was dumping huge bowls of food on the porch twice a day for everybody to come out. So it was cheap, crappy food, but the cats were starving.
It's better than nothing.
I'd rather give them something than nothing. Right. So exactly. I'm glad that you said that. There's what's considered the best. And then there's, you got to do what you got to do. And we would rather you give a cat a home with less wonderful food than have the cat die or be in a shelter Yeah. I love that you said that. That's perfect. So you have how many cats right now?
I have 8. So 5 I've officially adopted, 3 are fosters. But I say that because I don't know. A part of me feels like if I say 5, I feel better versus 8. But then I also feel like the breed I don't count as my own. How do they feel? They feel like, oh, I'm not mom, but they are mine. So I just say, F it,
Exactly.
I have 8 cats and they're
I did that for a while. Yeah. If they all get along and, you're able to support them all.
They're happy.
Why pull them out?
Exactly. And in addition to the cats, you have birds, right? Let's hear Nicole's ark story. What have we got in
Dying
Nicole's
to visit it.
Nicole's ark. So just disclaimer, I started with one cat for 7 years and people called me the crazy cat lady and I had one cat. I'm like, okay. And when I started rescuing, my joke is if they end up in my house, they never leave. So I'm like, don't bring anybody to my house because they'll never leave.
You said that once they cross the threshold, right? That's Rita's big line.
That's what Linda's been saying about me for years.
Yeah. And so I have 8 cats and I have a bunny. And I currently have another bunny that we're trying to bond. And bonding bunnies is like,
really?
It's hard. Is it hard?
You think it's so hard. It's harder than cats.
Really?
Tell us more. Tell us more. I'm fascinated.
So bunnies, you have to do a meet and greet. You can't just put 2 bunnies together because they'll kill each other. So what you do is you have to put them in a meet and greet. And the first 15 to 30 minutes, if they don't attack each other, is a good sign that they'll fall in love. Well, I did this with my bunny Chaz because bunnies are very social animals. They love companionship. Now, Chaz has my cats, but my cats think he's annoying. So, Chaz, I was like, let me see if Chaz wants to have a friend. And so I got this girl. It's my friend's. My friend owns the largest rooster sanctuary in the country. It's called Rooster Sanctuary.
Aww.
Looking to hopefully relocate to North Carolina, the Asheville area.
Oh, Asheville.
And so,
gorgeous area.
Gorgeous area. And so she's currently here in Denver and she had a single bunny, and I have a single bunny, and we got them together. And first 30 minutes, they were interested. There was no fighting. And at like 31 minutes, they get into it. So now the conundrum is, are they going to be like this forever now? Because they broke that bond. They broke that, there's trauma there now. So every day I'm supposed to like do an introduction while like taking a pillow to make sure that if they fight, I can
put it between them. Yeah.
You can't put your hands in because they'll bite you. So we've been doing that, but it hasn't worked out yet, but it can take months. It can take months. Up to a year or 2.
I had no idea.
I didn't either.
It's kind of fascinating.
So I feel like bonding cats or introducing cats is a big deal. Bunnies is a whole different thing. It's yeah.
And we always say when we're introducing the cats, especially if the cats are hating on each other, to always end on a positive note. So when you said at 31, it was like, darn, you should have exited at 25, right? Like you should have ended this on a clean note.
Well, now
then they get that idea in their head. He's a bully, or I want to hurt him, or whatever. And it's hard to reverse that.
Now I understand. We had a client that had 2 cats and they adopted 1 bunny, and the bunny got along with the cats. But now I know why they didn't get a second bunny. It makes total sense.
So I tell people, if you don't want to have if your cat doesn't like other cats, adopt a bunny. Bunnies and cats are very similar and they get along great. And you can leave them together and they play and stuff. So a lot of bunnies end up in the shelter because people don't have the time and patience to bond a bunny. And they get 2 bunnies and then they realize they don't like each other. And then so there's a lot of bunnies up for adoption at a lot of shelters. And there's a lot of great sanctuaries and rescues that.
Do they spay and neuter bunnies like they do cats and dogs? They
do. Because if not, my bunny Chaz, before he was neutered, he started humping everybody in the house. And he started humping my elderly cat, Agent Paws, who's no longer with us. And a guy, like, he was just trying to eat his breakfast. And he was
get off me. I get it.
And then they pee everywhere.
They can't even picture that.
So they pee everywhere if you don't need it.
Okay. No bunnies in our sanctuary, darling.
Right. I know. It sounds like a lot of work.
Get a house bunny. House bunnies are great.
There you go.
Isn't that a movie, House Bunny, with
House Bunny?
Anna
It is,
Faris?
but I don't think that's about
No, probably not.
Anyway, all right.
We have to take a little break for our sponsor.
All right.
And we'll be right back.
Molly, here's your dinner. Zeus, that's not your food.
Don't let that happen to your precious cat. Elevate your cat's eating experience with the Cat Tree Tray. The Cat Tree Tray keeps your cat's food off the floor and conveniently located on the cat tree. It's the perfect way to eat. It's a beautiful wrought iron tray that easily attaches to your cat tree and keeps dogs and other critters out of your cat's dish. A must for multi-pet households. There's a 6-inch tray for large bowls and a 4-inch tray for smaller bowls. Purchase your Cat Tree Tray today. Go right now to cattreetray.com. That's cattreetray.com. CATTREETRAY.com.
Let's Talk Pets
Let's Talk Pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
And we're back with 19 Cats and Counting, my BFF, Ride or Die, Linda Hall, and Nicole K, who's just, her mission is so similar to ours. I just love you, and I would love for us to meet someday.
Yeah.
But why cats? Why was your appeal to cats?
That's a great question. You know, I had 2 cats growing up as a child, and I loved them dearly. And I had a mother that loved to buy me cat pajamas, cat umbrellas, anything cats. And I used to be so embarrassed as a child. Like, Mom, like, why do I have all this cat stuff? I'm not a cat person, and come on, and everything. And it's funny, I asked my college roommates if I was like crazy about cats. They're like, no, you were not a cat person in college.
Oh, that's funny.
That's hysterical.
It is. And it's just like, you know, and it's funny because like my entire childhood, I had actually rescued all the animals, birds. I had a pet chipmunk that I raised from birth. I did all those things. So I've always loved animals. And I went to school to be a veterinarian. And I wanted actually to be at Michigan State. Yeah, I wanted to be a small animal surgeon. And, you know, that didn't work out. And so the cat thing didn't happen until about when I moved to Houston when I was 22 as an environmental scientist. There was a buy a cat, get one for free at the shelter. And my friend's like, hey, do you want a cat? I'm like, I guess. You know, I mean, I love them, but I wasn't obsessed with them. And so I got my first cat, Ginger, who was an orange, fluffy girl cat who was total sass. She's turning 15 this year. And we're going to throw her a quinceañera.
Cool.
We're making her this beautiful dress. Because I never got a quinceañera as a child. And we're going to make this beautiful dress for her. And I
want pictures.
I was just tthinking that.
We're going to have a party at the store. So it's going to be on October 31st. And she is awesome. The queen. She's my Achilles heel. She's never going to die. You know, she is.
I get it.
And I would say that my love for cats started there. And then people would always call me the crazy cat lady. And I always felt offended about it, even as an adult.
I do. I find that offensive too. Yes, I do.
You do. So we coined the term classy cat lady. We're just classy.
Lady. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. Let's start coining that.
Classy cat ladies. Yeah.
Well, you know, I think I don't mind being told I'm crazy about cats, but a crazy cat lady brings pictures of the hoarders in scary situations, right?
Of like the robes, the curlers, the rollers, and then your house smells
classy cat ladies.
Classy.
And your house smells like pee. Exactly. Yeah.
House smells like pee. So I would say that that's where it started. But, you know, at the end of the day, where I'm at in my life, the reason why the universe, God, has put me in this position. I'm not obsessed with cats. Like people think I'm obsessed with just animals. I'm obsessed with nature. I'm obsessed with I live with spiders and a pigeon on my kitchen counter. Like I just live.
I draw the line at spiders.
I was just thinking that. Like, I don't kill them. I don't kill them. I let them out. Spider, I was out. I was with you right up until that point.
Well,
and I was like,
spiders, snakes. I'll even take a scorpion. You know, I'll take them all. But we're coexisting as humans, and we tend to forget that we are living together on this big blue planet called Earth. And we are killing and murdering and mistreating animals, ecosystems, you know. And so I've always been an environmental steward since I was, you know, a child. And so for me, the reason why I chose cats is because one, no one is speaking up for them on a pet supply aspect. Right. When I tell people I have a pet supply store for cats, everyone's like, oh, you're bold. Oh, that's pretty adventurous. Are you sure you want to do that? You know, maybe you should have dog products. And I always tell people I am not the first pet supply store for cats. The ones that started, there's one that started in 1985. They're cat and dog now. So there's a reason why, because the market supports that. The marketplace is so hard for me. It's just being a cat-only store.
We understand completely.
Exactly. So people, you know, of course I could be making more money, but I made a promise to be the advocate and the speaker of animals, but the underdogs. Cats are considered the underdogs, right?
Oh, I know. When I
Exactly.
started Just for Cats pet sitting, my hairdresser at the time told me, "You don't want to do that. There's no money in that. You need to do dogs too." And I thought about it, and I thought, no, that's not what's on my heart.
Well, and
We made a really
do
good
well.
living at Just for Cats until COVID came along, but I sold it to Meowtown, which is another huge.
Nice.
They're the
Just
biggest pet
Cats, yep.
sitting company in the States, maybe in the world now. So it's really becoming more popular is to have things that are focused just on cats.
Right. What they say, like marketing, like even marketing companies are like one of the number one marketing tools is having cats in your commercials.
Oh, yes, I've noticed that. Mm-hmm.
And cat people want to see their cats represented. I am guilty. I don't remember what the product was, but I saw this product
I know.
once.
I remember.
What was it? And I was like, "Ooh, I wonder if they have this." And it was like marketed towards dogs. It was a dog on the picture. So I sent him a message and I said, "Do you do this for cats too?" "Yeah." And then I didn't order from them because my nose was out of joint because they didn't represent the cats. Right. And I think a lot of people, I know I'm not alone in this. I know Rita said the same thing. A lot of times if it's cat and dog, I don't know. I could certainly go into a pet store that has both. If they've got the specific aisle just for cats, but I want somebody who specializes in cats and understands cats because cats are so different in their needs, in the way they are about things. You know, one of our biggest behavior issues is dog people trying to think they can make their cat feel guilty. And, don't
hit your cat with a newspaper and don't hit your dog with it either.
Well, yeah, that's true too. But your cat's just going to think you're a jerk. He's not going to understand that this is connected to this. But
they say it works though. They go, "Well, if I spray my cat with a water bottle, it works." I'm like, but then your cat doesn't like it.
But they think you're a jerk.
It works because your cat knows that every time I do A and dad's around, he's going to pick that thing up and squirt me. They still don't know this is wrong and is getting me squirted. They just know if dad sees me, he's going to squirt me. And they're still saying dad squirted me. So dad's
they don't
a jerk.
know right and wrong. They just know what they need to do to survive. Those instincts in cats are still as sharp as they were way back when they were not domesticated at all. Because they're barely domesticated now.
They're barely domesticated. That's exactly it. So when I tell people, you have a wild animal living in your house. Do you know? Like when you come and ask me, "Do you have a cat in here that doesn't scratch couches so much?" I'm like, "Don't get a cat. Get a goldfish." Like cats will scratch. They're animals.
Hand her a stuffed cat. Here you go.
It's like telling a man that he can't have sex. Like, come on.
Yeah,
people, right?
People say keep scratching my couch. So I went out and bought him 2 scratching posts, but he's still scratching the couch. I'm like, "Congratulations, you have 3 scratching posts."
Yeah.
There are things you can do.
You didn't make that spot unattractive.
Yes, there are things you can do to make that spot unattractive so that they won't want to scratch anymore. But that is the secret behind cats, right? We domesticated dogs. Cats found us living together. We're eating together. There's food. There's rodents. They were excited about the buffet. And the people were nice because it was pest control. They didn't have Terminex. And so
they didn't have to feed them because they were self-feeding.
Exactly. And they were appreciative. So they were nice to the cats. And the cat said, "Hey, this is cool. We'll live here." And that's the end. That's the story. And that's still the way it is today. And cats have to make choices. And you can't operate on that same wavelength. You really need to know about cats. Even physical products, like if you see a shampoo or something that says safe for dogs and cats, I will not purchase it. Cats' skin is so much thicker. Their organs are different. They absorb things differently. I don't trust anything that says it's for both. My cats get cat specific stuff and I will turn away.
Remember the 2 companies, I won't name them, that came to us wanting us to test their cat stuff and like partner with them a little bit. And each of their websites, there's not one cat. So that failed because that was one of the first things we told each of them. You need to represent cats on your website. Otherwise, no matter how much marketing you do or how much we talk about how great your product is, a cat person is not going to buy from you.
Some of them have bark or something in the name. One of them had the little icon, the little cursor was a dog bone. Very cute. But I have a cat. I don't want a dog bone, right? Use a paw. I mean, you can make it more universal. You can represent. I don't have any problem you putting dogs on there, but represent the cats. It feels like this is a dog place to go. Oh, and we threw some cat stuff in for you in case you're crazy about cats, right? And yeah, exactly. You can't, you need to be specific.
Yeah.
And
your business is perfect because the name says it, Just Cats.
I love the phone calls I get. They're like, "Do you have any dog products?" I'm like, "No."
I know. We would do that too. Do you take care of dogs? No, Just for Cats pet sitting.
My
Oh,
favorite
yeah.
was the call we got from the guy who had a rat and wanted to know if
Oh,
we would take
just
care of his
for
rat.
rats.
And we were like, we're changing our company to just for rats. It's just for rats pet sitting.
We
Just
found a
for
sitter who would
rat
do it,
pets.
but by that time he found
We
someone
found
else.
somebody else. Yeah. They're like, I don't know. We'll talk to our sitters and see what they say about it. You know, if they had a bird or fish or somebody had rescued a turtle and had it in their garden, we're like, yeah, we'll slice up bananas and throw it in your garden for your turtle. Yeah, we'll feed the fish before we leave. But as far as an animal that's really going to take your time and attention, it's the cats, right? We're cat knowledgeable. We don't know anything about the others.
Exactly.
But, yes.
Before we end, because we're coming up on time, how do you get those cats adopted? Do you hold special events, or just people that come in and out of the store tend to adopt?
That's a great question. I would say it changes. It's really changed. It depends on the needs of the local community. A lot of the time right now, I'm getting phone calls on kittens. I don't have kittens. We used to do adoption events pre-COVID. Post-COVID, we used to have people go into the cottage and interact with the cats. It's just Cats Cat Cottage. It's a little adoption room. But since COVID, we prevented people from going in and out. So the adoptions have slowed down a bit. But I also will say that my adoption process and how I get cats homes is telling their story. And their story is super important because I would say 90% of the cats that I have in the store are special needs cats that would not do well in a shelter environment, or I wouldn't say the system, but families have failed them and they have lost a lot of hope within themselves.
I know.
And it's basically helping with their confidence to become higher adoptable,
help with the problems. Yeah.
So I'll take cats that nobody else wants. I am their last resort. And I say that
calf hair on my nose.
How did that happen?
And I will tell you this, even some of the cats I have in my house, no other rescues wanted them because of a certain reason. I have certain people that will reach out to me. They're like, Nicole, if you don't save this cat, we've asked hundreds of rescues.
Yes.
And we know that you have the patience and the love to give them, to take them in. And there are times where I have a cat right now named Kenzie Jones, little butterball orange thing. She's adorable. She spent 2 months in our store bathroom. Every time we walked into the bathroom, she would attack us. So
wow.
It was really difficult.
Poor baby.
She was abused, I'm sure.
And so, but it took 2 months. I told my employees, I said, I feel bad about having her in the bathroom. And we made it homey for her. We made it really nice for her. But I said, she had a little TV with little birds and she would watch.
I love it.
She needs time to decompress. She will let us know when she wants to come out.
Exactly
and
right.
She's a completely different cat now. She's amazing. She's absolutely amazing.
She learned nobody would bother her. Nobody would force her.
I'm safe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm safe. She wasn't in a cage. She was in a little bathroom, but she was happy. She made it her own. And then we just gave her the time. And I mean, how many rescues and shelters are going to do that for her?
None.
They don't. And often just because they don't have the ability. I mean, I feel like sometimes we're awful tough on them, but it's the space, the ability, the time. We tell people, when their cats want to hide and stuff, please do not pull them out unless you have to take them to that or there's a dangerous situation going on.
If there's a fire or something, yes.
I use the analogy of, okay, you're home alone. You hear a noise. Somebody has broken into your house. You go and hide in the closet. Do you want a door to open and a hand to reach in? How do you feel about this, right? You're freaking out. You're hiding in a place. You just want to dial 911 on your cell phone and get somebody here to take care of the intruder. When the intruder reaches through the door, you're going to need a change of pants. It's going to get ugly, and that's what the cats are doing. They're going and they're finding a safe space. This kitty, the bathroom was that safe space, that closet. It had enough space. It had everything, but it was small enough to make her feel comfortable and safe, like she's hiding in her closet.
Well, out in nature, they shrink down when they're scared and they become small, and that's comfortable to them.
Yes. And you find the colonies under people's porches and in we have this huge forsythia bush. There's always a stray cat under by a forsythia bush. They want that safety and space. And you can't force someone to be comfortable any more than you can tell me, hey, come out of the closet. Freddy Krueger won't hurt you. I'm not coming out until Freddy's gone. Okay. It's not going to happen. So don't be reaching your hands in. I will bite you.
When people adopt cats, they're like, what do I do when I bring them home? I said, find a bedroom or a spare bathroom, put them in there, food and water, a little bit, and then shut the door, leave them alone.
For a little bit, yeah.
But they're going to be lonely. I said, no. I said, go about your day, leave them alone, ignore them, let them figure out the smells and the sounds. they will let you know when they want to interact. Don't try to force. I think the biggest problem with us and as cats and behavior is we force our expectations on these wild animals. And it's like, let them be themselves. Leave them alone.
And they will love you on their time.
Yeah, they're not lonely. They're scared.
My sweetie pie just came in here and I would love to pick her up and put her in front of the camera, but she let me know, nope. Not today. Nope.
Gotta respect the cat. Respect.
On the other hand, Dexter's always here.
Oh yeah, Dexter's always by your side.
We're running out of time.
Forced to fall in love with someone.
We're running out of time. I hate it. We could probably talk for another hour.
I know.
Any last words that you want people to know about your store, what you do for the kitties, or anything at all?
Yeah, so if people want to follow us in our story and what we do for the cats, I tell people to go to our Instagram, Just Cats at Just Cat Store, TikTok, Just Cat Store, our website's justcatstore.com. And we are releasing a CBD product only for cats, which is not, there's no one else is doing it. It's called Just Cat CBD oil and with omega-3s, and that's coming out in about 2 weeks.
Nice.
And they can find it at justcatscbd.com.
We love it. We'll have to try
it. Big fans of CBD and cats. So thank you, Nicole. Let's get that word out.
I'll send you guys a sample.
We know it's, would you really? Thank you. Thank you so much. We would love that. Awesome. We just adore you and everything you're doing. I could keep you here for hours. I have more notes that I have to talk about.
Then you just have to come back and do another show anytime. If you're doing a special event or you just have something new, like the CBD oil, anything you want to talk about, feel free. We'd love to have you back.
And all of our listeners, please, if you're in the area, if you're not in the area, she's got an online store. I know she takes donations to help. And, there are things you can do. She's got adoptable cats listed. I can't look at them because I will take one home and my husband will divorce me. But, she's got it all. And, any way that you can support and help out, please do. Even if it's just, giving her Instagram and her TikTok and stuff a like to help her algorithms and help.
Is this your store location on Leetsdale Drive here?
Yes.
7150 Leetsdale Drive, Suite 402. If you're in Denver, Colorado, stop by Just Cat Store. Say hello to Nicole and maybe adopt another kitty.
Right?
Yeah. Love that.
But I hate that we have to go. I hope you come back again to our show. Linda, thank you as always for being my co-host. Nicole, I just love what you're doing. And of course, we have to thank Mark Winter, who owns Pet Life Radio, who gave us this platform so we could talk all about cats.
Yes. Good man. We love him.
I know. Just remember, though, every day is Catter Day. And we'll see you next time.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.